Hello and welcome dear viewers to another insightful episode of the Hindu News Analysis. I am Ramanjanelu and today we will dive deep into most significant headlines and stories covered by the Hindu newspaper. From politics to economics, national to international, we have got it all covered for you. So grab your head notepads and get ready to stay informed and engage with world event. So let it break down into simple points for better understanding. So let's get started. To begin with article number 1, SC refers electoral bonds case to 5-judge constitution bench. So this article covered in page number 1. The subject, Indian polity and governance. Topics, electoral bond scheme and its legal implications. So background, the challenge to the validity of the electoral bond scheme, which allow anonymous donations to political parties, has been a long-standing issue in the Supreme Court. So recent developments regarding this article, Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud has taken shift action by referring the case to constitutional bench of 5 judges. So reasons for this referral. So the decision to refer the case to a larger constitutional bench was prompted by a plea received by the court requesting the transfer of the case from 3-judge bench to larger one. So importance of the issue. The Chief Justice emphasized the importance of the issue as the primary reason for the referral. So hearing schedule. The case is scheduled to be heard by the 5-judge constitutional bench on October 31st, maintaining the earlier hearing schedule set at October 10th. So message to the government. The decision not to delay the hearing for the formation of the 5-judge bench sends a clear message to the government that the court is committed to resolving the case without further delay. So long pending case. The case has been pending in Supreme Court over 8 years. So Chief Justice remarked. Chief Justice Chandrachud emphasized in the October 10th hearing that we are here to decide the case. So this is all about the first article covered in the today's the Hindu News Analysis. Then coming to article number 2, the Indian Himalayan region needs its own environmental impact assessment. This article covered in page number 6. Subject, environment and ecology. Topic, environmental impact assessment and its relevance in the Indian Himalayan region. So background, the Teesta Dam breach in Sikkim and recent floods and landslides in Himachal Pradesh highlights the adverse impact of development in mountain regions. The issue emphasized the importance of assessing the environmental impact of significant human endeavors. So coming to EIA basics. Point number 1, the environmental impact assessment as defined by the United Nations Environmental Program is a process to identify environmental, social and economical impacts before implementing a project. Then point number 2, it involves comparing project alternatives, predicting environmental consequences and proposing mitigation strategies. Then coming to evolution of EIA in India. Point number 1, the precursor to EIA in India began in 1976 to 77, initially for river valley projects. Then point number 2, in 1994, the Union Ministry of Environment issued the first EIA notification, making environmental clearance mandatory for specific projects. Then point number 3, the EIA process underwent multiple amendments and culminated in the EIA 2006 notification. Then coming to EIA in the Indian Himalayan region. So point number 1, despite the unique vulnerabilities and fragilities of the Indian Himalayan region, it is not treated differently in EIA procedures. Then point number 2, the same threshold limits for recurring environmental impact assessment apply to the Indian Himalayan region as in the rest of the country, including the draft 2020 notification. Then coming to flaws in the graded approach. Then point number 1, India's regulatory system uses a graded approach considering the habitat's value and sensitivity to set environment condition. Then point number 2, however, the Indian Himalayan region is not given special treatment even though it is ecologically crucial and vulnerable to extreme weather and seismic activity. Then coming to addressing Indian Himalayan region needs. Point number 1. The Indian Himalayan region's needs should be considered at all environmental impact assessment stages like screening, scoping, public consultation, and appraisal. Then point number 2. General conditions for all projects should include clauses uh, clauses specific to the Indian Himalayan region, such as altitude and characteristics increasing ecological impact. Then coming to lack of national regulator. Point number 1. The absence of national level regulator leads to lack of independent and transparent project appraisal and approval. Then point number 2. The EIA process often reacted to development proposals rather than anticipate them, and there is a bias favoring project proponents. Then coming to cumulative impact box ticking approach. Point number 1. Cumulative impacts, especially in the Indian Himalayan region, are not adequately considered in the EIA process. Then point number 2. EIA is often carried out as a formality and it may lack an in-depth analysis of environmental consequences. Then coming to alternative approaches. Policymakers are encouraged to explore tools like strategic environmental assessment to address the unique needs of Indian Himalayan region. Then coming to conclusion, the Indian Himalayan region requires a different set of environmental standards and clearances given its fragility and ecological significances. Then coming to article number 3, confronting the long-term risks of artificial intelligence. So this article covered in page number 6. So subject science and technology, governance, ethics and international cooperations. So topic long-term risks of artificial intelligence and AI governance. So context long-term risks of artificial intelligence and AI governance. So introduction, risk associated with technology evolves with societal changes and technological advancement. So understanding long-term risks of artificial intelligence is essential. So as AI's capabilities became clearer. Then coming to immediate versus long-term risks. Then point number 1, immediate risks involve ensuring AI systems day-to-day functioning. Then point number 2, long-term risk deals with existential questions about AI's roles in society and its impact on humanity. And then point number 3, addressing both types of risks requires a multifaceted approach. Then coming to long-term AI risks. Point number 1, concerns about AI and biotechnology potential to manipulate human emotions, thoughts and desires. Then point number 2, over 350 AI professionals expressing concerns about potential AI risks. Then point number 3, risks associated with essential infrastructure relying on AI like water, electricity systems. Then point number 4, the concepts of runaway AI causing catastrophic consequences. Then point number 5, challenges of aligning AI with universally accepted human values. Then coming to global approach to AI regulation. Point number 1, lack of unified global approach to AI regulation. Then point number 2, European Union's AI Act adopts a risk-based approach considering the area of AI deployment. Then point number 3, need for more holistic view of AI risk to ensure comprehensive regulation and oversight. Then coming to international collaboration. Point number 1, absence of collaboration and cohesive action at the international level. Then point number 2, risk of nations not enacting AI regulation gaining a competitive edge. Then point number 3, potential destabilization and conflict due to unregulated AI development. Then point number 4, encouragement of race to bottom in AI safety and ethics. Then coming to dangers of military AI. Point number 1, military AI poses significant long-term risks. Then point number 2, need for global norms and treaties similar to those for nuclear and chemical weapons. Then point number 3, the importance of delineating where AI deployment is unacceptable in warfare. Then point number 4, recognition that choices made today will shape the world's future in terms of AI risks. And coming to conclusion, understanding and mitigating long-term AI risks is crucial for responsible development and deployment of AI technologies. So collaboration and global governance are essential to ensure the ethical and safe use of AI. Then coming to article number 4, Bangalore Waste Management Plan. This article covered in page number 8. Subject: environment and ecology. Topic: urban planning, waste management, and environmental sustainability. So context: Bangalore's waste management plan and relocation of waste processing facilities. So coming to introduction. So the government of Karnataka is considering relocating waste processing facilities in Bengaluru to the outskirts. So this move is driven by the need to address the increasing waste generation and capacity constraints in the city. So then coming to capacity of existing waste processing facilities. Point number 1, Bengaluru currently generates around 5,000 tons per day of waste, expected to rise 6,000 tons per day in the near future. And point number 2, the existing waste processing capacity in the city is about 2,000 tons per day, leading to a capacity shortfall. So point number 3, this shortfall results in approximately 3,000 tons per day of waste being disposed in landfills without processing. Then coming to performance of existing facilities. So many composting facilities in Bengaluru have faced operational challenges, including receiving more waste than designed capacity. Then point number 2, inefficient operations have led to leachate and odor issues affecting the environment and nearby residents. Then coming to need for new waste processing facilities. Point number 1, to address the capacity shortfall, the city plans to establish 4 new waste processing facilities outside the city. Then point number 2, each facility is designed to process 1,000 tons per day of waste, with components for composting, material recovery, and scientific landfill. Then coming to addressing local concerns. Point number 1, addressing odors and leachate concerns through tertiary level facilities for leachate treatment. Then point number 2, managing high moisture content in composting material using high capacity lane turners or windrowing turning equipment. Then point number 3, considering land acquisition and changes in land use patterns due to plant location in rural areas. Then coming to involving farmers. Point number 1, engaging farmers in the process and offering them free organic compost. Then point number 2, this can reduce farmers' reliance on chemical fertilizers, resulting in potential cost saving. Then coming to repurposing existing facilities. Then point number 1, converting existing wet waste processing facilities into dry waste management facilities to manage dry waste generated in the city. Then point number 2, this approach reduces transportation cost and ensures more feasible utilization of new plants. Then coming to sustainability and efficiency. Point number 1, the success of new facilities and the sustainable use of existing facilities depends on considering technology, environmental and social impact, past experiences, and community involvement. Then point number 2, the goal is to create more sustainable and efficient waste management system for Bengaluru. So this is all about the 4th article in the Hindu newspaper. Then coming to article number 5, India and UK discuss Indo-Pacific and trade. This article covered in page number 12. Subject: international relations. Topic: international relations, diplomacy, and geopolitical developments. Context: India-UK dialogue on Indo-Pacific and trade. So coming to introduction. India and the UK held the inaugural 2+2 foreign and defense dialogue During the dialogue, discussions centered on the Indo-Pacific region, maritime freedom, trade and various areas of collaboration. Then coming to key discussion points. So point number 1, maritime freedom. Both countries reaffirmed their mutual commitment to maritime freedom, emphasizing its importance in the Indo-Pacific region. Then point number 2, Indo-Pacific situation. The dialogue included discussions on the evolving situations in the Indo-Pacific, reflecting their shared interests and concerns in the region. Then coming to point number 3. So point number 3, collaboration areas. The two sides explored possibilities for further collaboration in various areas including trade and investment, defense cooperation, critical and emerging technologies, civil aviation, health sector, energy cooperation, and strengthening people-to-people connection. Then coming to fourth point, security matters. The dialogue involved deliberation on security-related topics such as counter-terrorism efforts, humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, and maritime security. Then coming to delegation leadership. Point number 1, the Indian delegation was led by Piyush Srivastava, Joint Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, and Vishwesh Negi, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Defence. And point number 2, the UK delegation was co-chaired by Ben Millo, the Indian Director, Indian Ocean Directorate, FCDO, Foreign Commonwealth Development Office, and Lieutenant General Rob McGowan, Deputy Chief of Defence Staff. So this article all about article number 5. So this is all about article number 5. So then coming to article number 6. Wholesale prices stayed almost flat in September. So this article covered in page number 13. Subject Indian economy. Topic economic indicators, inflation trends and the impact of global factors. Context wholesale price inflation in India, September 2023. So coming to introduction, India's wholesale prices remained in deflation for the 6th consecutive month in September 2023. The wholesale price inflation in September stood at minus 0.26%, a slight improvement from minus 0.52% in August. So factors affecting inflation. Coming to factors affecting inflation. Point number 1, high base effect. In September 2022, wholesale price inflation was slightly higher at 10.55%, creating a high base effect for the current year. Then coming to point number 2, point number 2, primary articles and food items. Inflation in primary articles decreased to 3.7% from 6.34% in August. So food items inflation eased to 1.5% from 5.62% in previous month. Then point number 3, the specific food items. Onion prices saw a significant increase, crossing 55% in September, up from 31.4% in August. So pulses inflation accelerated to 17.7% from 10.45% in the previous month. Then milk inflation reached to 3-month high of 8.6%. Then coming to fourth one, vegetables. Vegetable prices, which had risen sharply in July and August, decreased by 15% in September. Then fifth one, cereals and wheat. Prices of cereals and wheat saw an increase in inflation, reaching 7.3% and 6.3% respectively. Then point number 6, crude, petroleum and natural gas. Global oil and gas prices surges contributed to a rebound in crude, petroleum and natural gas inflation, which reached an 8-month high of 15.6% from minus 1.9% in August. So coming to outlook, despite a sequential rise in food prices in September, it is expected that overall wholesale prices will remain in deflationary territory in October as well, according to the rate agency ICRA. So this is all about the 7th article in today's Hindu paper. Then coming to article number 7, youngest ever president elected in Ecuador vows to restore peace. So this article covered in page number 14. Subject international relations. Topic geopolitical issues. Context: election of Ecuador's youngest president elect Daniel Noboa. So coming to introduction, Daniel Noboa, a 35 years old heir to a banana empire, has been elected as the president elect of Ecuador. He has become the youngest ever president elect in the country. So election outcome. Point number 1. After the Electoral Authority of Ecuador declared his victory, his socialist rival Luisa Gonzalez conceded defeat. Then point number 2, Mr. Noboa secured approximately 52% of vote according to nearly complete vote counts. Then coming to key woes and challenges. Point number 1, Daniel Noboa pledged to restore peace to Ecuador, which has been plagued by a violent drug gang war. Then point number 2, the country has witnessed escalating violence as the rival gangs with connection to Mexican and Colombian cartels have fought for control. Then point number 3, this violence led to massacre of at least 460 inmates in prisons since February 2021, with many brutal killings in mass riots. Then coming to point number 4, in August, the violence claimed the life of anti-graft and anti-cartel presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio, who had been polling in second place. Then coming to political background, Mr. Noboa's term in office will be relatively short, lasting only 16 months. He is completing the term of incumbent Guillermo Lasso, who called for a snap election to avoid possible impeachment on allegations of embezzlement. Then point number 2, under the law, Daniel Noboa can run for the 2025 to 2029 presidential term and subsequent ones. Then coming to political invoices. Point number 1, both runoff candidate Daniel Noboa and Luis Gonzalez were relatively unknown in the political arena. So point number 2, Mr. Noboa comes from a wealthy background and is son of one of the Ecuador's richest individual who had 5 unsuccessful presidential bids in the past. So this is all about the article number 7. So that's the wrap for today's The Hindu News Analysis. I hope you found this video informative and thought-provoking. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more daily news updates. So don't forget to hit that notification bell so you will never miss out on latest news analysis. So stay informed, stay engaged and stay curious. Until the next time, this is Ramanjanelu signing off. Thanks for watching and you have a wonderful day.